So this is class number 11 on the Golden Doves. We're in the introduction, Roman numeral 15 on the bottom of the page. I want to read 4 lines from the idea of derasha. En mukdam u'mu'achar b'Torah. There is neither before nor after to the Torah. I want to read that. So when you get the place, please tell me.
Got it.
En mukdam.
I got it.
Exactly. Good. So first of all, en mukdam u'mu'achar b'Torah. It's important to know that it comes from the Gemara. It's in Masech. I mean, Jeda has all the Mar'eh Mekomot, but it's from the Gemara. It's not just some statement that somebody made. It's from the Gemara, from the Bavli, from the Yerushalmi, in several places, from the Midrash Rabbah. So, En Mukdam Umuhad B'Torah, he has here a really unique explanation. Usually people say En Mukdam Umuhad B'Torah means that there is no historical chronology in the Torah. But how can you say that? Of course the Torah follows historical chronology. I mean, there may be some Pesukim that appear out of order, and perhaps from a historical perspective, those Pesukim are not in perfect order. But how can you say En Mukdam Umuhad B'Torah? En means there isn't. But there is. Almost all the Torah is al-piha, according to the chronological order. Yes, there are exceptions. So you say, generally speaking, the Torah follows historical chronology, but there are a few exceptions, like in any history book. Many times in history books, you can be reading a history book and something is out of chronological order for whatever reason here or there. Are we going to say this book has no historical chronology? Of course not. So this is a great explanation of a statement that people repeat all the time, and nobody knows the real meaning of the statement, because the real meaning of the statement is here. There is neither before nor after to the Torah, declared the rabbis. Chronological considerations are not to be interpolated into this axis. So what this means is that when you're making derashot on the Torah, there is no before or after, but rather everything exists as per Ferdinand de Saussure on the synchronic axis. And we're going to see an example why it matters that everything exists contemporaneously. So you can be Doresh, one word in the book of Bereshit, to another word in the book of Devarim, to a word in the book of Hosea, to the word in the book of Shir Yashim. We say, how can you do that? These books are written in different points in history. And on that we say, no, they exist on the synchronic axis. So continue reading, and I'm going to give a very nice example.
Likewise, concerning scriptural verses appearing in different places, the rabbis declared that they were uttered in a single statement.
Right. B'dibur echad
ne'emaru.
Such as Shamor v'Zachor, b'dibur echad ne'emaru.
Meaning that they must be explained synchronically. Right. As if constituting a single conceptual unit.
Right, and that's
interesting.
Yes, please go ahead.
I mean, I want to. It's just very interesting that, and you see it in different, especially in Zachor v'Shamor, in many places in the Torah where the same, let's say, story or idea is mentioned in 2 different places. And the comparison of the things really sheds light on the understanding of those things.
Right. So let's take this, because there was some on my group, Andalus group, the WhatsApp group. There were some questions. Wait, are you saying that there is no diachronic axis? No. Of course there is a diachronic axis. Of course there is a time axis. But when you're doing derashot, the diachronic axis collapses, because derashot is based on the synchronic axis. So let me take the example of Zachor v'Shamor v'Zachor v'dibur echad ne'emaru. Shteda explained to me the Amkut and the Peshat. And the Amkut and the Peshat of the Pasuk is on the diachronic axis. And what is the Peshat? The Peshat is that the word Zachor, 40 years earlier, when they first left Egypt, the word Zachor was the word to use to express the idea of preserving an important memory. Right? To commemorate, use the word Zachor. But as you know, language evolves, right? And as language evolves, words change. And the word Shamor, 40 years later, was the word used to describe the idea of preserving an important memory. So shamor is actually the semantic equivalent of zachor, but 40 years later, they didn't use the word zachor. Just like today, the word woke, back then, only a short time ago, woke means I'm awake physically, I'm not sleeping. He woke up. Today, the word woke in America means that you understand the real sophisticated left-wing liberal ideology where mobs can be rampaging, and you're smart enough to understand that these mobs rampaging and looting and taking 10 pairs of Nike sneakers at a time are actually right. They're moral. But if you don't understand it, Joey, please don't say it because you're being recorded on a video, but if you didn't understand it, that just means you're not woke. So you see how language evolves, the meaning of language evolves? So that's the point, that's the peshat of Zachor v'Shamor. But the Chachamim say that if we're going to read it for derasha purposes, and we make the derasha contemporaneously. Zachor is misvat aseh. So if Zachor is misvat aseh, structuralism teaches us that what one thing means, the other thing can't mean. So Shamor can't mean Zachor. So what does it mean? It means misvat lo ta'aseh. So zachor is misvat aseh, shamor is misvat lo ta'aseh. So you see how structuralist thinking fits perfectly into how we interpret the Torah at the synchronic level. Okay, and I'm going to give an example in a minute, but first finish a paragraph.
As noted by Rabbeinu Nissim Gaon, this serves as one of the foundations of rabbinic exegesis.
Right, now this is Rabbeinu Nissim Gaon saying it. It's one of the Gaonim, Talmid of the Chachamim from the Gemara, right? I mean, Talmid of Rabbi Aryeh Gaon, but still.
Of course. As in all value systems, one may not apply to one axis values of another.
Right. No, go ahead.
You only have the judge of your own generation, declared the rabbis.
You only have the judge of your own generation. Right. Let me open up. I'm going to pause the thing. I want to see the actual Lashon in the Gemara. Give me a moment. Okay, we're recording now. So here we are reading the Tosefta of Masechet Rosh Hashanah Perek Aleph Halacha Yod Zayin. למה לא נתפרשו שמותן של זקנים שלא יהיה כל אחד ואחד אומר, הריני בא להקיש את רבי פלוני לאלדד ומדד, הריני בא להקיש את רבי פלוני לנדב אביהו, right? So let's bring the names of the Zekanim, all the Zekanim that came after the days of the Zekanim that came after Yoshua. Because what's going to happen, you're going to compare one Zaken to another Zaken. And you can say, oh, my Zaken is bigger than your Zaken, or he was greater than him, right? And that you're not supposed to do. לכן הוא אומר, אדוני אשר עשה את משה ואת אהרון, ואומר, וישלח אדוני את ירובעל ואת פדן ואת יפתח בית שמואל. ירובעל זה גדעון, פדן זה שמשון. יפתח כמשמעו. So why does it bring the, what is the point? So here it says, I'm just going to skip to the bottom, להודיעך, שכל מי שנתמנה פרנס על הציבור, אפילו קל שבקלים, שקול כאוויר שבאווירים. You understand? So anyone who has a political appointment in his generation, the Sanhedrin, the Beit Din HaGadol, the judicial authority of every generation, they have the full authority. And you cannot say, oh, but that judicial authority was greater than this one. No. Right? So, שכל מי שנתמנה פרנס על הציבור, אפילו קל שבקלים, שקול כאוויר שבאווירים. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Wait.
Yes.
The sentence I think he was referring to is in the continuation of that halakha in the Tosafta. It says, "En lecha ella shofet shebedorecha."
Right.
ובתא אל הכהנים הלוויים ואל השופט אשר יהיה בדמים ההם.
En lecha ella. Very excellent, Joy.
That's what we were looking for.
I skipped the ikar. Yes, you're right. En lecha ella shofet shebedorecha. Excellent. So that's great.
Okay.
That's great. So you see, and this is beautiful because this goes against the notion of gadolatry. The gadol. So no, If you have a dayan and the betin agadol is duly appointed and the real dayanim who are appointed properly, then this dayan is like that dayan. The same way that dayan has a right to make horaot nisel, this dayan has a right to make horaot nisel, and you can't start comparing who's a greater gadol. It doesn't work like that. That's the point. This is anti-gadolatry. So it's almost like all the batetinim, all the zekenim, all the moreh hora beisel, they all exist synchronically, and nobody is greater than the other. I love it. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful notion.
Thus, one may not refer to the earlier days, but rather must accept the contemporary authorities.
What is that? Where is the makor for that?
That's what you were saying, and then you have that's the
exactly in the same thing we just read, in the same place we just read. That's where it is. Okay, good.
The object of the third institution is to build a fence around the Torah.
Right. We said that rabbinic authority comprises three fundamental institutions. The third was hora'ah, judicial application of the Torah and the promulgation of new legislation. Why? Because va'asu seyag la Torah. That's va'asu seyag la Torah. Yes.
To safeguard and promote the Torah in terms of new historical circumstances. Okay.
Right, that's really important. For example, in the days of Rav overheard women that they were planning a party, and they were the one woman asked the other, tell me, she saw her buying meat for the party, and she says, tell me, how much butter do you cook with that meat to make it, like, what's the right amount? And when he heard this, he investigated the matter. He found out that because people are eating kehal, the udder of an animal, they were making the mistake thinking that meat is allowed with milk. So in his generation, he forbade it. In our generation, it's 100% mutar to have udder, if a person follows the proper law, whatever the proper law of preparation of udder is.
Mm-hmm. This institution functions as a bridge between the horizontal and the vertical axis.
Right, interesting. So asu seyag la Torah, because I'll tell you how that is. The Torah exists at the diachronic, meaning the laws that the ikar Torah shebe'al peh shenimseru lanu mimoshe Rabbeinu, that's it exists at the diachronic axis. And then come the Hakamim and they look at what is the issue today, and what can I do to protect the Ikar Torah shebe'al peh, and they make these rules, they make these tekanot, they make these gezerot. So the third institution, gezerot v'tekanot asus Torah, it combines the diachronic with the synchronic, or rather it doesn't combine, but rather it's the bridge between. It doesn't combine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me give you a very nice example that I wanted to give you about in Mukdam Muharbat Torah and how this works in the Gemara. So the Gemara has a question regarding how much time does a husband have before, if he gives Kiddushin to a woman, how much time does a woman have to prepare for the marriage, and how much time does the husband have, right? Assuming it's a betula. So the Mishnah says, Notnim la betula shenem asar chodesh misheteba'aha haba'a lefaneset asmaha. So that's when he says, I want to get married immediately. He gives a kiddushin. Says, no, I want 12 months. She gets it 12 months. Okay? And then the Mishnah says, Uchshem shenotenin la'isha kach notenin la'ish. This is Masechet Ketuvot of Nun Zayin, and then Nun Zayin Amud Aleph, and then Nun Zayin Amud Bet. The Gemara says, how do we know that the Betula is entitled to 12 months to get ready for the marriage? Amar Chisda de Amar Kera. Vayomer ahiha ve'immaha teshev na'ara itanu yamim asor. The famous story with the Mesek Eliezer. He comes to Padan Aram. He wants to take Rivka with him, and they agreed to give him Rivka. And then they said, oh, no, we want, give us Yamim. The Gemara later on shows how Yamim really means a year. Give us a year. Give us a year and then come back and take her. So from here, we have the law that the Betula has a right for a year. Really? What? What did the Gemara just say? The Torah didn't even exist anymore. What? You know, and we learned this from Lavan Arami and Betuel, who themselves were, Betuel was Oved Avodah Zarah. Really? That's where we learned this law from? So these Oved Avodah Zarah, they knew this Rabbanan law, they followed it. But if you take the Pesukim of the Torah, existing contemporaneously, every Pasuk can be put against every other Pasuk and combined to make new derashot, then it makes perfect sense, because that's a synchronic axis. That's what's beautiful about this. So you see how really,
Beautiful.
Chavod.
Also a very sharp. It's also a very sharp and beautiful explanation as to why did Ashot work, because people don't understand. I'm telling you, as somebody who's been who's been around the block in the Israeli Torah world, they don't understand why Dirasha could work, and unfortunately, as a result of their lack of understanding of how Dirashot work, they also attend, whether they like it or not, to, so to speak, look a little bit down on the Dirashot. They disrespect the Dirashot. That's just a Dirasha. It was a Dirasha, but why does this Dirasha work? Like, how does that make sense? How could you put these two Pesukim one against the other? One is in Bereshit and one is in the Vayikra. The answer is, I mean, this answer is a genius answer. And people who don't know this answer, they don't take the Dirashot seriously as a result. Okay, Hakamim said we'll do it, because the Goyim said, if you don't understand this, then you treat it like you treat it. The Gadol said, the Gadol made the comparison, that's it. That's what needs to be done. We don't really understand why the Dirashah is valid or invalid. It's whatever. The Gadol said, and that's it. We have to accept the authority. That's not. So this really explains it well.
And what's beautiful is that in order to understand the sophistication of Hachamim, you actually have to be educated. If you're not educated and you don't understand the difference in a synchronic and diachronic axis in general linguistics as per Ferdinand de Saussure, you really can't understand this. And that's what I love about this. Instead of dumbing down the Torah, Barminan and Chas v'Shalom, to a low intellect and to people who are uneducated, you're actually saying, no, if you want to study Gemara and you want to understand Chazal, you have to be an intelligent, well-educated person and then study Chazal, because if you're not intelligent, you'll never be able to understand Chazal, because they were intelligent and they were well-educated. And that's the beauty of this.